Give it just one. I'm gonna give it just one more second since our first presenter isn't on the call yet. Should be a pretty short meeting tonight. And Jenny, can you make me a co-host? I'm going to be sharing a PowerPoint. I want to make sure I don't have issues.
Yeah, let me get that set up here.
Thank you. All right, we can go ahead and get started. So as I mentioned just a few seconds ago, I think tonight's going to be a pretty short meeting. I know that we will not have Alicia from the mayor's office tonight, nor will Council Member Pui be here. Both of them have community councils that overlap with ours, and they go every other month. So I know that they won't be here tonight, and then I do not know if Representative Romero will be here. But we do have a couple of our regular presenters. And then the first presenter that we have, Tyler from Salt Lake City Parks and Public Lands, is here to introduce himself and talk about the 1700 South boat ramp. So Tyler, I'll let you take it away.
Thanks, Turner. I love the brief remarks. We're moving here. Hi everybody. I'm Tyler Fonro. I am the director of the Trails and Natural Lands Division for Salt Lake City Public Lands. We are one of 5 divisions within the public lands. The parks are the oldest and the largest. Urban forestry takes care of our 9,000 plus trees. We also have golf, and we have our planning and design division. Trails and Natural Lands manages 2,000 plus acres of open space throughout the city. In Glendale, we're talking about the Jordan River Corridor, Peace Labyrinth, 3 creeks, 5 wetlands. So a lot of wonderful properties close to your homes. And so I have been with TNL and Trails and Natural Lands for 6 years in different capacities. And I'm excited to be working. I've worked a little bit with the Jordan River on a tree and debris removal project in the last 3 years, where we've been moving dead or almost dead or felled trees in the river so that it can be navigable. Our goal with this is to activate the river with more boat recreation so that people can experience that from the river as well as on the side of the river, and activate more spaces along the river. So one of the very quick quote unquote easy fixes that we're looking to do this spring is to activate the Glendale 17 South boat ramp. Since the Glendale Regional Park project has been underway, it looks like the entire place is under construction. There's a Jersey barrier blocking the parking lot, but the boat ramp is still open. But we just need to do a better job letting people know, which is why I'm here tonight. And we're going to be putting signage and more attractive, like "Welcome to the river," so that people can know that it's a desirable place to be and an accessible place to be. So probably in the next 6 to 8 weeks, we'll have a significant upgrades to that, cleaning it up, getting rid of debris and trash and litter, and kind of committing to keeping the space clean and physically and emotionally safe for folks to come in. Our streets division already put up a loading and unloading zone. If you drive by there, you might see some new 15-minute loading zones. So if you are someone who has access to a boat, kayak, or canoe, you can unload safely and walk it towards the boat ramp. And we're also looking to explore new best practices in some urban river systems where there's self-serve rental stations, so that even if you don't own your own, you can actually come to a boat ramp and with a QR code and a credit card, you slide and you pull a kayaker out of a locker with a paddle and a life preserver, and so you can enter into the river that way. So we're doing a little bit of river cleanup too, to make sure people can enter the river and feel like they're getting into a relatively clean and safe river. And what's really nice, if you haven't, I should ask, has anyone actually ever kayaked or canoed on the Jordan River?
Love it.
Oh, good. We've got a couple hands up. I can't see, obviously, the folks that are. Oh, Connor has with their hand up. Yeah. One thing that's nice about the 17th South access is you can paddle upstream relatively without massive lat muscles. You can do it pretty decently with a little bit of skill. Whereas there's some parts of the sections where it's kind of tricky to go up and down the screen, the river. So it's a nice way to get some in a very beginner paddling skills in. So I just wanted to say hi, introduce myself, and also if there's any interest from the community, anybody in the call, individuals, or potentially of somebody, individuals or groups that might be interested in being more involved or helping out and doing we will most likely do all the work. We are capable of doing all the cleanup work ourselves, but if there's other options to do some volunteer community building space events, we would love to hear from you all. We're talking about painting an emerald ribbon, which is the name of our action plan, along the pathway to make sure people can find the boat ramp from the sidewalk. So make it fun, not just hard labor. So please spread the word. And if there's other groups, as I said, or local businesses that want to get more involved, I'll put my email in the chat, and please feel free to reach out.
Thank you. I had a question before the meeting. I know you are not working on the Glendale Regional Park plan, but I had someone email and ask about the pickleball courts at Glendale Park. Do you know when they'll be done, or?
Yeah, I have a typed message from my supervisor, who is the former TNL director, who's the acting director for public lands, Tyler Murdoch. He says, you will get questions about pickleball. And I unfortunately don't work in parks but I have a written message to say, Glendale Park Pickleball. We are currently amending the existing contract with the Glendale Park contractor. The pickleball court project will be completed by them as well. This will increase the project timeline and improve efficiency with only one contractor. It's this Bud Mayhus company who's already doing it, managing both projects. And I'll put this all in the chat. Construction will start as soon as weather permits this spring. Courts to be completed late summer, early fall, hopefully sooner, but I want to be conservative.
Okay.
And that's what Tyler Murdoch, our deputy director and acting director, shared with me to share with you all. I also spoke with John Radis, who's a project manager for the Glendale Regional Park, and he said the timeline for phase 1 completion is still on track for late summer, early fall. Phase 2 construction with earliest start date would be spring 2026, but that's still TBD.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, Tyler, it's Sarah Wolf from Trails, Utah.
I saw your name. Hi, Sarah.
How's it going?
Good. It's nice to be here.
Yeah,
How are you?
it's great to see you. I didn't know you were going to present, but that's wonderful.
Yeah, thank you.
Question on, you mentioned having rental kayaks. When would that be available, and exactly where would they be located?
We're in the exploration stage right now. I'm honestly just in an inspiration stage. We've done a lot of research the last few years, but we didn't have the resources yet to pull the trigger. I know that cities like Minneapolis has had a paddle share program that we're researching. I've personally seen a self-serve, like I mentioned, in Austin. I've seen it in Seattle. There's companies that we're researching right now. Because we're a city, we have to come up with partnerships. I talked to the folks in Austin on Colorado River, which is basically their lake. And I asked them how that works. And they're like, oh, we're on private land, so they don't have to have an agreement. So, and they have more of a SUP culture, stand-up paddleboard culture, where it's pretty easy to get in and paddle back. We have a little bit more of a directional flow. It's not as accessible for everyone to, because if you go downstream, how do you get your boat back? So there's a lot of questions we still have, and we want to make sure if we launch it, we do it well. But the goal would be, if, I can imagine it, again, this is Tyler talking, we don't have anything in writing yet, but having some of these lockers, if you will, at 17 South, potentially at the Fisher Mansion at 2nd South, probably at our major boat ramps, the Gadsby at North Temple, and probably 18th North. There's a lot of other minor access points that we don't technically maintain, but it's going to be part of the Emerald Ribbon Action Plan and activating more spaces to have that.
That's great. That's exciting.
Great, thanks.
Any other questions for Tyler?
one question, just an historical one. I've done some research and I have a hard time. There is a sign at the Glendale at 17 South called, and it says the Exchange Club Marina. Does anyone know who the Exchange Club is and where that comes from? Or would anyone know how to find that information out? I think it was a club back in the 1980s that probably helped build the boat ramp in the first place. But I'm struggling to find any history on that before we take the sign down, because we are putting up new signs.
I do not know, but I can ask around.
Thank you, Turner. I appreciate that.
There's some kind of boat company on the corner of 900 West and 1700 South. I wonder if they would have any information about that.
Okay.
Just for the sole fact that they're a boat kind of
Boat
company. I
company,
don't know
yeah.
exactly
Yeah.
what they do.
Yeah, I think it was a service club, like a Rotary and Elks kind of thing, but I just don't know the history there, because we'd love to be able to, keep the sign as historical artifact of sorts.
Yeah.
So,
I
well,
had
thank
a
you
little
all.
quick
go
question.
ahead. Yeah.
So I know that obviously you're here for Glendale, but 1700 South, would we be like one of the pilots for these like lockers, or would you be implementing the lockers at all locations at once? Or is that
Again,
undetermined?
still in the brainstorming phase. I actually would like that to be a pilot location, just because, as I mentioned, the marina, the bay there is really a slower water. It's very accessible. You can get out there and learn paddling without going very far, versus Fisher Carriage House. You're one bad stroke away from going through the canoe chute. So that's probably, that's a different situation over there. So I think to me, it is one of the more accessible locations. So that would be a personal priority of mine. So I'd like to see it go in there.
Oh, thanks.
Anyone else? All right. Thank you, Tyler, for being here.
Yeah, I will put the information about the pickleball and other information in the chat.
Great. Thank you
Thanks,
so much.
Tyler.
Nice to see you all.
Nice to see you.
Thank you. Detective Oliver, do you want to go next?
Sure. Let's see if if I can get my camera to work too. There, turn the red light off. All right. Any questions, concerns, anything? It's been a little bit, I guess it's been a month, right? Time flies.
Yep.
Any questions?
I mentioned something, just something that has come up in the last like week or so is, it's not a huge concern, but someone has been going around and opening people's gates in our neighborhood. I'm on 800 West, and we noticed several other people on our street, those people that have gated fences, just someone opening the fence. And if we didn't have a dog, we would be less concerned, but that's just something that we noticed in the last week or so.
Yeah, just keep your eye out and let us know if you see a description, if you get a description, but I'll see if I can't drive through the neighborhood a little bit more in the next little while to see if I can see anything as well. Yeah, just keep us posted on that, please.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah,
was
there another?
Before you jump into the standard report, could you also maybe just talk a little bit about what's going on with the chief, just with his retirement, and what maybe that change of leadership would look like for folks that are just curious?
Yeah, so this will be my second change of chief. So I went from Burbank to Brown. So this is going to be a new one. So we'll just kind of have to wait and see. His last day is the 28th, is what he's told us. So after that date, I don't know if we're going to have an interim chief. I don't know what's going to happen. We haven't had anything come out in email. There shouldn't be much change in policing in any of the precincts. So Pioneer Precinct's still got their commander. So the Commander Clough is still going to be taking Pioneer Precinct. So there won't be any changes there. The one good thing that we have going right now is we've just implemented a year-long rotation. So if you bid for the west side, you'll be on the west side for a year. I think that's a great new change, because we get to know our areas a whole lot better than every three months we get switched out. And I hope, and the goal is to get it into the beats. So we actually get a beat that we're assigned to, so they will know everybody within that beat. I think we're on our way to that. And I think that hopefully we'll stay with the new administration as they come in.
Right.
But that's really all I know. If I do find out anything more, I guess we'll all find out after the 28th. That'll be our next one, huh?
Yeah.
So
Well, thank you.
yeah, you bet. Our numbers for January looked great. They actually looked really, really good for Glendale. We had 6 violent offenses in the month of January. 4 of those were aggravated assaults, non-family. So that would be, and it usually tends to be some of our unsheltered folks or our homeless folks that are getting into some of those assaults. We did have 54 property offenses, with the majority of those being shoplifting issues. 32 of the 54 were shoplifting for January. So we had a grand total of 60. We normally see a 3-year average around 91. So we're down 31 offenses for January, which is great. That's a fantastic number. We'd like to see that continue to trend down. So our year to date is going to be basically the same numbers as January. So those numbers will hopefully trend down as it gets warmer. We know what happens when it gets warmer. Trails get more active. People are out into the community a little bit more. So just continue to keep your eye out on your neighbor's house, your house. Let us know if you see something off. You guys know your neighborhoods better than we will. Hopefully we'll know them somewhat well if this year-long thing kicks in. But absolutely, if you guys see something in your neighborhood, let us know.
Thank you.
Yeah, if there's no other questions, I am done.
I have a comment. I don't know if it necessarily pertains to SLC PD. It's about a dog, so it's more animal control. Is this an appropriate time, Turner, to
Sure.
mention? I live right by the 9 line, closer to Redwood Road, and large 100-pound black, it looked like a lab Rottweiler mix, attacked my dog when we were out walking in the end of December. And its owner appeared to come and get it, but we didn't follow them. I had to go to the ER. My dog had to go to the dog ER. And it was just, obviously chaotic, as you can imagine. I do wish that I had followed that person home and at least gotten, but I just wanted to make people aware. That was pretty scary, and I don't know who it was, and we never found the dog. So
Did you get a case number? Did you call PD though? Did you get a case number for the assault?
yeah. We
Okay.
took care of it. It was like, we can't go door to door, so if we see anything else, but
Yeah, and we'll keep our eye out. And if we do see something, we can always call animal control, and they can do the whole required shots and all that stuff. It gets a little bit more in depth, but yeah, as long as you got a police report number, that's the best thing for us.
right.
We're-
I just wanted to mention it, and I meant to come in January, but I just get the word out. I don't know. I know people do their best with their dogs. I have a dog who needs kind of constant. Now I'm rambling. I'll be done. I just wanted to make people aware.
If you want to text me your case number, I can do some follow up on it too. I'll leave my phone number in the chat. I think I'll try if I'm that smart, but I'll leave my phone number. You can send me that case number.
Thank you.
I have a quick question if I can.
Of course.
Detective Oliver, what can we do about homeless encampments parking on private property?
So that's a tough one. That's going to be a compliance issue, and they can follow some of the compliance laws on that. But if it's private property, it's going to be a whole lot harder for us to do anything than it is on public streets. But they can still request. There's a lot of laws within the zoning ordinance that they have to be like behind the front surface of the house and all sorts of things that we can look at through the compliance side of it.
Okay, so contact the police department and have them come out.
Compliance, yeah, call compliance first for zoning.
Okay.
They have enforcement officers, just like one per district as well. So just look on their map. They'll have a compliance officer. You can call them directly.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, that's a good start. Yep.
Shelley, I hope that's your name. That's your name on Zoom. Do you know if it's someone allowing folks to camp on their property, or are they camping on someone's property without permission?
Without permission.
Okay.
One leads to multiple.
Yeah. What address by chance are you talking about?
Just off of California and 12th West.
Okay. I'll take a peek at it in the morning.
Okay,
If we
thank-
can push something a little bit quicker, but California and 12th West.
Correct. Thank
Okay.
you.
Yeah, thank you.
And Shelley, I put a link in the chat for the phone number for compliance, so you have that directly.
Great, thank you.
Yep. Any other questions for Detective Oliver?
I'm turning my spooky light out if it's not. Oh gosh, that's worse.
Doesn't look like it. Thanks for being here, Detective.
Anytime.
Take care. All right, so next we're going to move on to community updates. So Sarah, do you want to kick us off with the Arts Committee? And then we've got time for Neighbor Works if someone's here representing them, Neighborhood House, or if you have any community updates from any organization, if you'll just either raise your hand or jump in after Sarah's finished.
Okay. Yeah, start the slideshow. And some of you have seen this before and you're familiar, but for those of you that are not, I head up our Glendale Arts Committee, which has been active for a few years now, and we have a great team who's been doing a lot of work to bring more art to our community, which through a survey, our community members really wanted some more art, public art and community arts. So I just wanted to share some of the things that we have done and then also share some things that are coming up this spring, which we're really excited about. So these are just some images from various programs we've done, and you can go to the next slide. Unfortunately, Riley Elementary has been shut down. So sad, but the mural's still there. We created a mural in the courtyard at Riley Elementary along with their art department, and it was in honor of one of their teachers who had died of cancer. You can go to the next slide. Several years back, I started an event called Art at the Confluence, which took place at the Three Creeks Confluence Park, which had just opened the first year I did the event. And it was supported by all of these entities. And 2 years ago, we did the second annual event. We skipped last year for various reasons, but we're bringing it back. And I'll talk about that later in the slide. The next slide. We did a series of street murals. You've probably seen them. They are on the street, so they're starting to wear away, but they're still there. We did one on 8th West, which is the street that I live on, between 900 and 1300. One by Parkview Elementary and one by Dual Immersion Academy. And the part of the reasoning for that was traffic calming, just trying to slow people down. 2 of those areas are where kids are crossing the street before and after school. And the one on 8th West, a lot of people speed down that street. Kelby Goupil, who is a Glendale resident, designed and painted these murals along with volunteer help. Go to the next one. More of the street murals. We commissioned an artist to redo the wooden signs. There were 4 of them along the Jordan River Trail. I believe a couple of them have been removed, and I'm not sure why. But there are 2 of them that are still up, and they're designed on both sides. So if you see one, check out the back side too. This is just part of the beautification, but also kind of telling people where they are and what to look for around them. This past year, we did an event called Jazz in the Park. This was sparked by one of our committee members, eBay Hamilton, who I think is here at the meeting. At International Peace Gardens, we had 3 or 4 different performing groups perform in the park. People brought out their folding chairs, and we had some info booths and art vendors. And it was a whole lot of fun, and we are hoping to be able to do that again next year. Or I should say this year. Another exciting development was we got funding to get these banners put up, and you may have seen them. We've installed 4 banners across the street from Jordan Park. They're in three different hues. The red is repeated once. The design is actually by a local artist, Gabriella Hunter. And she designed logos for a bunch of different neighborhoods. And we really loved this one and wanted to replicate it for this purpose. So this is kind of creating pride in our neighborhood, welcoming people who are maybe visiting from the east side, and just another beautification measure. So these are some things that are coming up. We've gotten funding. We got funding for the mural that you see on the top. So this is going to be a mural on the side of the Rose Printing Building, which you might not even notice. I didn't notice it for years. But it's right across the street from the 9-line bike park. We really are excited about this one because I think it's going to really make that area pop that's been a little bit of a dead zone, and also celebrate the fact that that neighborhood there used to be called Glendale Gardens. And we hope that it'll bring more business to Rose Printing as well. The other mural, the artist Josh Shurman, he got funding through Love Your Block to create a mural on the side of, I just call it the food truck building. It's where the food trucks park. It's actually in Poplar Grove, but it's where the arcade theater used to be, which was torn down, I believe, in the early 90s. But I've communicated with a lot of people who went to this theater from when it was established in the 1930s, all the way up until it closed. And it was a really important theater for our community. So we are going to commemorate it by having a mural created on the side of this building right next to where the theater used to exist. And then finally, and we're going to be creating both of those. The artist's going to be working on those in April. Also in April, at the end of the month, we are having our Art at the Gardens. So this is what used to be Art at the Confluence. We've moved it to International Peace Gardens, just so we have more space for programming, more space for attendees and for parking. I've got a lot of stuff already planned out. You can just look at the list. Lots of partners for this event, and funding from the ACE Fund, which is the mayor's office, Salt Lake City Arts Council, Jordan River Commission, and I'm working on further funding as well. But we're really excited for this move to a bigger space, and a lot of exciting partners for this event this year. And these are just some images and some indications of who will be participating. And I just want to say thanks again to our team, eBay Hamilton, Connor Flynn, Turner Bitten, and myself. I'll thank myself. And here is a link, or you can just go to our website and click on About, and you can find a lot more information about all of our art projects. Thanks for listening. And if anybody has any questions or ideas, shout them out.
Thanks. Any questions for Sarah? Great. Is there anyone here from NeighborWorks?
I am.
Hi,
Sorry.
Kim.
Hi, how are you?
Good to see you.
I'm the loan processor over at NeighborWorks, and I'm trying to think what we've kind of been winding down on a lot of our Salt Lake City funding at the moment, but we did just get word that we're for sure getting down payment assistance funding coming this spring or early summer. So if you know any first-time home buyers looking in Salt Lake, will have $30,000 down payment assistance grants coming up. So have them apply on our website.
Thank you. I'm also going to give a plug. NeighborWorks does Paint Your Heart Out it's usually the end of summer, I think in August. But if you're aware of a neighbor who needs help repainting the outside of their home, if they're older or they just need some support, that's a great opportunity that NeighborWorks also provides. So a little ahead of the curve, but something I wanted to flag for all of you to think about.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else, Kim?
Nope, I think that's it.
Great.
Thanks for all you do.
Thank you.
Any other community updates, neighborhood house, or any other community organization? All
I
right.
kind of have a plug. If I so we were awarded the Love Your Block grant. It's $1,500 grant, and like to use it to install a pocket park at it's around 819 West California Avenue. So we're going to have a community work day, and I don't have a date set for that yet. I have a couple of different options, and kind of just wondering if anybody is interested in attending. We'll be doing some cleanup. It's just going to be lots of weed removal, trash removal, maybe some planting. We'd also like to get input from the community. So we're trying to reach out, bring community members from Glendale together to get some input on what they would like at this park. So additional work on the park will be done later, but we'd like to get the community input. So one of the potential dates would be April 12th. And I'm wondering if this would be a good day for people. We've also got the potential for May 3rd or May 17th. But if people who are interested might be able to attend April 12th, if there's anything that's overlapping that I'm not aware of, I would just love to know about it.
One overlap, Jennifer, is on April 12th, we're doing, and we just scheduled this at the Love Your Block meeting, a volunteer day for the Arcade Theater mural, which
Okay.
goes 10 to 3.
Okay, so that could be a potential issue.
But I think May would be great.
Yeah. The only other issue I see with April 12th is it's real close to Earth Day. So you may have other events like cleanups on the Jordan River, different things. I'm not aware of any, but April tends to be a crazy month.
Okay.
And
All right.
Jennifer,
That's
we can
good feedback.
create when you pick your date, I can work with Jenny and Sagan to create a Facebook event. We'll make sure it goes out in the newsletter. We can do like a little sign up form on our website too, if you want to do that, or people could just email you. But we can help you get the word out when you've got your date picked.
Okay, that would be fantastic.
And one little tip is that Amy, I can't remember her last name, but she heads up Tree Utah, and she lives in Glendale. Maybe connecting with her and seeing if she might have some trees that we could plant. Turner, do you know if you have to get special permission to plant trees? Like in that space?
Is Tyler still here? I don't know the answer to that.
Well, Amy will know.
Amy,
Yeah, there are issues. We do have some lines up ahead, and I know that there's regulations where you can't have trees within a certain distance. So we might be limited in where we will be able to plant trees, but we might be able to get one in there.
Yeah, or she might be able to help build, plant shrubs. But I think
Yeah.
she would be a good contact, and she lives in Glendale.
Yeah, I will definitely look up Tree Utah.
I have her contact information that I'll put in the.
Okay, cool.
And I would absolutely love to help out if I can make it on whatever date you decide on. So put me down.
Thanks.
Any other community updates?
eBay, are you here? Do you have anything you want to mention about KRCL?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, we're trying to bring back the KRCL Day in the Park at the International Peace Gardens. The date we've requested from the city is August 23rd. As Sarah knows, it takes a little bit before we hear back with confirmation, but we're planning for August 23rd. And I'm actually putting together a short little save the date of all the events that I'm aware of that are happening at the Peace Gardens in Jordan Park for the summer. It looks like there's going to be something every month starting in April, going through September. So maybe just something that's worthwhile to hang on your fridge or keep track of upcoming enjoyable things to do in our community. So I'll share that when I have it. Also, Tree Utah, her name's Amy May.
eBay, I have a question. What sorts of information might you be able to share on KRCL about stuff that we're doing?
Well, if anybody is ever doing any sort of event or rally or information that you sort of want to put on our virtual community board, we do have an events page where folks can submit things for free. It takes a little bit of effort because you have to type in all the information. But once it's approved, when something's approved on our website, it also makes it approved for our DJs to mention on air if they feel inclined.
Okay.
It's really up to each individual DJ what they want to share, but it's best if that stuff is already posted on our website and approved on our website. So
Okay.
for the stuff that we're talking about doing, I'm sure we'll have a chance to cover a lot of it. And I could also see if there's an opportunity for you, Sarah, or myself to sit in with Laura Jones to talk about the event as it gets closer as well.
Okay, thanks so much.
Yeah, of course.
Any other updates? All right, I have just a couple from the community council. So for those of you that were at our January meeting, you'll remember that we do not currently have a treasurer. So we're looking for a person to take over as treasurer. Our previous treasurer, Catherine, moved out of the neighborhood and so had to step down. So we're hoping to fill that position. Not a huge responsibility. Mainly you meet with me usually quarterly and we work on QuickBooks. We put in all of our receipts and then we do a financial report. And so it's about 2 hours of work on top of these monthly meetings. Not a huge amount of work, and it's a great way to get involved if you are interested. And then we also have 3 open at-large board positions. So the at-large board positions, they're a 1-year term and they typically serve on one of our committees. So our arts committee or just help out in general with board related business. So we do have those 4 open positions right now. If you're interested in any of them or getting more involved, I'm going to put my email in the chat. If you would just email me or reach out to me, I can give you more information than I've provided tonight, and we can get you involved. So there's no qualifications, no expectations other than you participate, that you come to board meetings and that you come to the public meetings when you're able to. The treasurer position obviously has a little bit more definition than the at-large positions, given that it is a treasurer's position, but no experience is necessary. We'll mentor you, we'll support you, and we want to make it a really good experience for you if you decide to get involved. So if you reach out to me at chair@glendaleslc.org, we'll get you involved. Also wanted to flag that in the future, we're planning to have Salt Lake City Parks and Public Lands come. We usually have them come in April once they've got their whole summer schedule for all the millions of projects that they're working on. So we're planning to have them come in April. And in May or in March, we typically have our state legislators come and present on what happened in the nightmare that is the legislative session each year. So Look forward to those things. Our March meeting is likely going to be on Zoom, and we'll be back in person in April. We'll have more information. Our board is going to meet in the next month and set a meeting schedule for the rest of the year. And then we'll be sure to share that out in our newsletter and on social media. But we're at the end of our agenda unless anyone has any other updates. Tyler, go ahead.
Yeah, you said you meet in person starting in April. Where do you all meet?
At the Glendale Library at 1375 South Concord.
There, great. I'd love to join you in person.
Yeah, and
Thanks.
7 o'clock on the third Wednesday. All
Thanks.
right. Well, thanks everybody. Have a good rest of your night.
Hey, Tyler or Turner,
Yes.
sorry, Turner, just totally off subject. If that painting of the cows behind you ever comes up missing, don't look at my house.
Oh, I'll fight you for it. I love those cows.
Have a great night, everybody.
Thank you.